I think one of the things in this area in our field that absolutely drives me nuts, that I am so tired of people propagating this, and it's become such a ridiculous argument, is, am I better off strength training or doing cardio? Yes. Should I do aerobic exercise or should I strength train? Strength training does all this for me. That's my choice. And you're just like, you're just justifying it in your head. You know what the answer is? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do both. Like, there is no reason not to. You guys know me long enough. It's hard. I'm hardly going to be the one to tell you not to strength train, right? Like, that's been my world. But I will tell you what, the aerobic exercise aspect of it, why do we crap all over that sometimes? People are trying to prove a point, like, to themselves. I don't know, or justify their preference in their head. They don't like doing aerobic exercise, but they like to lift. So that's all they need to do. And that's what's good for you. And they'll tell everybody that. Exactly. That conversation has to stop. And honestly, the funny thing is, from the metabolomic study we did that I'm sure we're going to talk about, we got pretty good evidence that you should do both.
Yep.
Well, here's a question, because, you know, it's funny you mentioned in our field that there seems to be that idea, and it almost always comes from people who just lift weights. It never comes from people who do cardio. Like, people do cardio, don't say, well, don't lift weights. It's always the people who lift weights who say cardio is a waste of time, and they'll show. They'll put these pictures next to each other, like a world-class sprinter and a world-class marathon runner. See, that's why you should lift weights. I'm thinking, no. That's putting those pictures side by side isn't the reason for not doing cardio. So absolutely not. But there is a cultural bias in our field for whatever weird reason towards weight training.
Yeah. Now, in all fairness, you think back to like 80s and 90s.
Yes.
There was a very much cultural bias to just aerobic exercise.
Yes.
So we've swung the pendulum, and at some point, I'm kind of like, hey, can we, do both? I mean, it's really good for you. You get benefits out of both. They have unique aspects to them, but they also have so much overlap that it's still such a good thing for your system. But the biggest thing is do something you enjoy, right? Like, find something you like to do. You don't like aerobic work. Well, find an aerobic activity that you do enjoy. Like, I like riding a bike more than I like running. But that being said, I want to be able to do both, right? I still like doing high intensity interval work, but I also like the steady state stuff, right? Because I know it's good for me and I like to be able to do it. And, if you give me my choice, like, put me on a surfboard or on skis, like, either way, like, now I'm happy. Now I'm doing what I want to do. But you can find those activities, and then you use your training to train you for that. Right. And Joey, I know how much you love stand-up paddleboard, right? It's like a lot of your other work then helps you get better at doing stand-up paddleboard because you compete in it. It's your daily thing. It's your place, right? People need to find that place for themselves.
Now, I know Tony's place is not the weight room because he gains weight too easily, right?
Tony's a beast. That's why. The dude looks at a 5-pound dumbbell and he gets bigger. It's ridiculous.
I'm the opposite. I hate lifting weights. Really do. And so most of my cardio, though, is a higher intensity because, the mats, the striking,
right.
I do the fight forms, but then I complement it to the point that both of you were making with some zone 2, some low intensity and outside walk. Just quickly from a perspective, if you look at evolutionary biology, we had to do everything. Yeah. Sometimes you had to chase an antelope. Sometimes you had to run from a lion. Sometimes you had to lift a rock. Sometimes you had to walk to a river. So I think, sure, some people are better designed to excel at one of those than another, but nevertheless, our capacity to an extent to adapt to all of them exists. And hence the global effect is there. A little bit of everything is going to your point too, Shawn, about longevity. And I think one of the most important points you made too is if you can, try to find something you like and enjoy it, because being happy is pretty damn good for your health too.
It really is. And especially the outdoor stuff, which is why, Joey, I know both of you guys now living in Florida, you love it down there. And it is honestly, for me, it's an upside in South Carolina. Our pool temp right now is 87. I'm loving it. It's great, but again, being able to be outside. But that being said, in the winter, I travel to go ski. And so you take advantage of those climates that give you the opportunity for the activities you like. And there are moments where I'm on the mountain where I'm never happier. Like that is my spot, right? And it's one of the times where I still truly feel like an athlete because of the challenges and things like that. And I love that aspect. And so I think that we're all athletes. It's just an issue of how we develop that. And it doesn't always have to be competitive. But I looked at it this way, for what this is worth. When I was rehabbing from surgery and coming back, there were 3 people at every workout: me, my past me, and my future me. right? And every day I was chasing future me to try to get better and get closer. The cool thing was the better I got on that day, the farther along my future me got too. So it was always a race. But what I was always trying to do is distance myself from the past me, right? And be able to be better every day from that. And so that competition was very real for me. It wasn't with anybody else. It was internal and something that drove me on a regular basis. And I truly had an opportunity. It was really interesting to use all the things I know as a sports scientist to come back from that. Like, I am very, very grateful to know what I know and do what I do, and to have a wife that's the same way, because it shaped everything I did coming back from that.